Well, hello. I've been making abstract pictures like this for a few years in Photoshop. And then I discovered Midjourney a few weeks ago. And my Instagram feed started looking like this. So, so I've always been into abstract stuff. And so what I want to use Midjourney for is to take my abstract stuff and turn it into even more abstract stuff. So that's what I'm going to show you. If you're interested in that kind of thing, then it might be worthwhile. But if you want to make fairy princesses or castles or knights in shining armor, then probably you won't you won't care for this. So why is this not full screen anymore? Oh, I changed resolution, so I'm a little disoriented here. Trying to make this screen a little more legible. So, I'm not going to tell you how to get into Midjourney. It's not that hard, and it's like you can get in for free, but it's very cluttered. So it's better to go like $10 a month. You can get like 200 pictures. To find out what it's like, you can quit. So this is some stuff I made. But so one thing it'll do, and this is what I use it for, is to take a couple of my pictures and put them together in a way that makes compositions that are interesting to me and surprising, that I've never seen before. That's the fun of it, to make things I've never seen before. So here's where the action happens. This is where you send a message to the bot. You put a slash and you get a number of possibilities, and you return and you get the matching because it was highlighted. So we got that. And now this is the last set of prompts I used. All right. But I'll show you how you start with different pictures. I'm going to use the same prompts, but we'll use different pictures. So I'm going to go back to my old Photoshop ones and just, pick something at random. It doesn't really matter. This is what they call a reference picture. And the bot doesn't try to reproduce it or anything. Okay, so here's a picture. I'm going to use this one. So you just highlight the whole title of the image. It's got an N in JPEG. This is just on my hard drive, right? So copy that, go back to Midjourney, paste that one in, and I'm going to do another one just for fun because its price is the same. Oh, why not this one? So select all, copy, back to Midjourney, paste. So I have two, okay, these are, I'll put a space here. Oops. So I've got two pictures here. Now this just sort of gives the bot a starting point. Right? It just says these, I don't know, these are, I don't know how the algorithm works, but this is, this makes a difference. In fact, the name of the file, like here, this is ton, and this is sub. I don't have any idea how it's going to interpret those. But if your file name has something suggestive, like billboard, or it will take the file name and it'll make that a part of the information that it uses to make your. So file names are important. So anyway, I'm going to use these same prompts. Okay, I'll talk about them a little bit. It's nice. You copy them from the previous thing and paste them in with these. So it's going to run the same prompts that it did before, but with different pictures. So it will come out. I want to put a space there. It will come out oh, looking very different. It should, hopefully. So these are the prompts I put: intricate, abstract, painted machinery. I wanted to do something somewhat angular or with vibrant color, galactic science fiction. You can put all kinds of stuff in here. Full screen, metallic, translucent, multi-dimensional, psychedelic. Hard edge, volumetric lighting. Now this is a good one I like. Volumetric lighting makes everything sort of glow from the inside. So it's a nice effect. I love it. I do it all in everything. So okay, then HD, telephoto, high dynamic range, photorealistic, octane, and a couple of render engines that are for 3D stuff, I think. Anyway, so that's all the that's all the prompts. And I'm going to start this, and then I'm going to, well, you'll see. All right, so I start this, and it takes a second to get going. Not that long, I hope. And you'll see what comes next. What it does is it makes 4 variations, and here they are. 4 variations on the 2 images I put in with these prompts, and how it puts all that together and comes up with a picture is mysterious and wonderful. So as it goes through its process, you get a percentage here that shows what speed how much of it has been processed so far. Well, I showed you the whole thing, didn't I? So you get these, and they're sort of thumbnails, and they're sort of rough drafts, because the final thing is going to look different. It's going to have detail and things that you can't see in this version. But I tell you what, I'm just going to upscale these 2, and that you're going to see that was 3 and 4, right? 3 and 4. Okay, so that's this one and this one. And what it's going to do is it's going to take each one of those and fill in a lot of detail and things that you don't see in the rough draft. The rough draft just gives you an idea of the composition and the colors, the way they're going to be laid out, and the shapes and everything. So you give you an idea. But now see, it's building the first upscale, and you'll see when it's finished with this, it will give you the opportunity to go to max upscale, and that fills in details a lot more. You can get a much better idea of what the final image is going to look like. Well, that will be the final image. When you do max upscale, that's as high resolution as you can get, and that's, for me, that's good. I work with everything at 16 by 20. That would print at 16 by 20. And so these things at 16 by 20 would print wonderfully. So okay, so we got 2 upscales here, and you can click on these and you get a little better idea. See, there's texture down here that's going to be interesting. Here's some texture. I love these red against this kind of dark teal or whatever. This I may have to do something with in Photoshop. Anyway, so yeah, we'll upscale that to the max and have a look at this one. Well, this is much simpler overall. I don't know how interesting it would be if it'd be something you would look at and say, oh, yes, and you'd pause and spend some time with it, or would you not? It looks kind of simple in that version, so we'll see how interesting it gets with detail. Okay, so this is max resolution of one of the images. Okay, yeah, I think that's interesting. I think that's fun. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that and play with it in Photoshop. What shall we call it? A green eye. Oh. Ah, a lace or something. You know what? You know, I'm probably going to have to live with this name for a while, so I try to pick something that's kind of interesting. And I have a folder that I put all my Midjourney productions in. So that's all that's going to happen with this one. This one, yeah, nah, it doesn't look particularly interesting. We'll say, no, we won't do anything with that. Anyway, so I'll go over to that file. Let me get back in column view so I can see where I am. So there's the Midjourney folder. And this is all the pictures I've made this month. It's amazing. So lace, here's that file. We'll open that in Photoshop. Oh, come on. So here we are in Photoshop. Now I have an action setup that over here. It's Midjourney PNG. This is a PNG file. That's how it comes out of Midjourney. So this little Photoshop action I made converts it to well, you'll see. So click the magic button and Photoshop does this thing, and I'm going to save this as, you know, I got this filing system years ago, and I probably could maybe simplify it, but you know, everything has a place so you can find it again if you should ever want to. So we convert that PNG to a Photoshop file and increase the resolution. So let's get it back down to visible. And so the next thing I do is you'll see, you know, you think, well, that's kind of interesting, okay, but you can do things in Photoshop that really make it pop. So it's it's worth playing with it a little bit. So so this is just a levels adjustment layer, as I say, and we'll start off with the, you know, RGB, right? Red, green, blue. So I'll pump up the red a little bit, then I'll go to the green, I'll pump it a little bit. You see that brightens up the whole image a lot when you increase the green. It turns that yellow to a more yellow than to a sort of a more golden thing. So I'll leave that green right there for now, and we'll try the blue. And so I want to crank it. I don't like it when it starts when it starts intruding on other colors. So that's a little too much. So we'll back off a little bit. So we just want to make the blue pop without it over. Like if you put too much, it'll just become sort of a blue theme or something. So just enough to make it pop a little bit. Okay. Well, see, the thing is, then once you've gone through all of them once, then you need to go. I go back through and play with it again. Now that I got the blue turned up, see how the green plays against that, and same with the red. Since I've turned up the others to see, I want to see how. Okay, more red. And then I like to have the brightness at a level that, see, like this, for me, this is too bright. And, you know, it's like all washed out kind of. And then you don't want to get too dark. But somewhere in here, it'll give the detail, as much detail as I can get in here. And it won't be all washed out. So I'm going to go right there. All right. And the hell? I changed the resolution on my screen, so I'm getting used to it here. So I'm going to merge that levels layer just to get it out of the way. I'm going to save just in case Photoshop goes nuts on me or something. So one of my most used commands is Command T, which gives you the transform. And we'll make that a little smaller. See, I don't like, and then I just erased it, right? So I don't like this white corner up here. It's too white. And maybe this is a little too plain down here. Maybe this whole top. I don't know. We'll see. I think we'll see. We'll see. So what I'm going to do is put it in Command T, and then I'm going to make it warp. And I'm going to use, so the default is 3 by 3 or something. I don't know what 2 by 2. So I like it to have a finer control. So I'm going to just push that up. So it deformed the whole composition, right? So I don't want it totally deformed. I want to, and you hit one of these. You hit one of these. What do they call them? Vector lines or something. And so down here, I think this is like too much kind of. Stop doing that. This is too much yellow down here. So you know this is the thing about Photoshop is you can change the whole composition. I mean, I'm not making huge major changes, but I'm really kind of screwing it up here. Oh, we got this nice wiggly line here. I think I like that. So, all right, so I'll hit Enter, and that'll lock that in, and usually there's some leftover edges somewhere that when I did that warping thing, it will pull the edges in where it shouldn't, and you'll end up with a little line around the picture. Okay, so got rid of that. Okay, so we did levels already, right? So the next thing is, oh God, I'm looking at that wavy line I made. I made couple wavy lines. That's fun. You know, this is just for fun, right? So, this is the Command Shift A is. I wish I could turn these off. Is the Camera Raw filter, which does many wonderful things. So the first thing I do is I turn up the clarity. Now you see in this area here where we have some detail, as you turn the clarity up, oh yeah, it comes out there. See, you couldn't see that in the original. I take a little dehaze and that'll sharpen things up. So you can't see that in the original Midjourney output. I'm cranking up the vibrance here a little, give it a little more pop without going too crazy. So in Midjourney, you can't see all this detail. You have to play with the, bring up the blacks a little bit, lighten things, and then the whites. It always, to me, gets things too white. I don't want this to be like what they call paper white. I want it to have a little dot, as they say in the printing business. So okay. Oh, I usually do Yeah, I usually bring up the shadows a little bit. Sometimes there's interesting things here. This gets more blue in this area when you turn up the shadows. Um, that's probably far enough. And contrast, if you crank it too high, it starts looking kind of grainy. If you like ride around down here, it looks, it looks a little rougher. So, you're trying to find something you're happy with. And again, we get to play with the lighting, the exposure, and I think that's a pretty sweet spot. So, we're going to say that it is, and save it. And so, this is our masterpiece for the day. And I don't know if you remember the pictures that I put, but they don't look anything like this. I think you could use anything, just pick a picture, any picture, and but it has to have JPEG on the end. If it's on your computer and has JPEG on the end, then Midjourney can find it if you give it the file name, right? So, I look at this. See, this is what happened. And two, the next thing I would do. See, I decided there's too much stuff up here that's not very interesting. So I'm just gonna pull it up out of the way. And now this spreads out this more interesting part of the design here, and makes the whole thing more. And now I've got another clear area down here. So we have to pull that. So, yeah. Okay, so that's the final thing. Let's see. Oops. Here's where we started, but that's too small. So this is when we first converted it to Photoshop. And this is this is the final form. Well, I may go back and play with this some more because, this one has a certain I like it. I was just screwing around, and I screwed up these lines. I like these lines, so I'll go back and I'll change this. But you get the idea. You can play with the composition and the colors, and you can enhance the details and stuff. So that's what Photoshop does for you. And between the two, you can come up with something that you have never seen before and that no one else has ever seen before. And to me, that's fun. That's the whole fun of it, is I get to see something that I have never seen before. Total surprise. So, if you like surprises, enjoy, and have a great day. Bye.